Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Okay, so here we all are, all of us sitting down, relaxed. Well, I'm not sitting down, but I'm still pretty relaxed. So that's good enough, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so are you ready for some more revision? Are you ready to get stuck in and rediscover or revisit some of what we learned in the past? You are? Good. Well, you'd better be, because here we go. Now, a long time ago, when Yoda was a little ugly, big-eared green boy, sort of thing, we learnt about Alfredo and Gordon's night in the pub. Do you remember? Evening, Alfredo. Alfredo, what's wrong with you? You look awful. Dave, believe me, I know. And I also feel awful. Well, tell me what happened. What happened? Dave, what do you think happened? Gordon came round on New Year's Eve. Gordon, your brother-in-law? Yes, Gordon, Mary's brother, my brother-in-law. Okay. And what did you do? Well, Mary and the kids stayed at home, and Gordon and I went to the pub. Okay, so what happened? Well, after the pub closed, we went back to Gordon's flat and continued drinking. Oh, I see. What time did you leave Gordon's flat? I think I left at 3-ish. And when did you get home? At 5-ish. What? It took you 2 hours to get home? How far from your house does Gordon live? Gordon lives about 2 kilometers away. 2 kilometers? How can it take anyone 2 hours to walk 2 kilometers? A dog with 1 leg could do it in 2 hours. I know, and please stop shouting. I've got a headache, and I've got a stomachache, and I've got a sore throat. My God, Alfredo, you're a mess. You've got a cold and a hangover. I know. How did you catch a cold? I caught a cold when I walked back home from Gordon's flat. I stopped in the park, sat down on a wet park bench and fell asleep. Ooh, nasty. You fell asleep on a wet park bench. How long did you sleep for? I slept for about an hour, I think. When I woke up, I was soaking wet. I walked home coughing and sneezing. When I got home, I made myself a hot cup of tea with lemon and honey, but I've still got a cold. And what about your head and stomach? Well, that's because of the alcohol. Well, how much did you drink? I can't remember. A lot, I think. You can't remember? Good God. Well, in the pub, we drank beer. What sort of beer did you drink? Bitter, lager, pilsner, stout? We drank pilsner and lager. And what about after the pub? Well, we drank a couple of cans of stout at Gordon's flat. But he didn't have any more beer, so we drank wine. What type of wine did you drink? Did you drink white wine or red wine? Both. We started with white wine and then we drank some red wine. When the wine ran out, we started drinking spirits. Blimey! You two certainly know how to have a party. Which spirits did you drink? Well, I drank gin, vodka, whiskey, rum and brandy. I don't know what Gordon drank. Gordon fell asleep on the sofa. So, what did you do when Gordon fell asleep? Well, I finished the bottle of brandy and then I left. Jesus wept! Alfredo! Is Gordon okay? I think so. I tried to call him, but his phone's turned off. And what happened when you finally got home? Well, like I said, I made some tea with honey and lemon, and then I went to bed. I woke Mary up. She wasn't very happy. I'm in the doghouse now. I'm not surprised. Why aren't you at home now? Well, Mary's still not very happy, so I thought I'd come here until she calms down. And what are you drinking? Beer. You've got a hangover and you're drinking alcohol. You're mad. No, I thought it would help. You know, a hair of the dog that bit you. Okay, hair of the dog. Is it working? No, not really. I still feel awful. Alfredo, I think you should go home. Go home and go to bed. You need some rest. I think you're right, Dave. Do you want the rest of my pint? No. No thanks, Alfredo. I don't want to catch your cold. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Oh well, I'm off home. See you later, Dave. Bye, Alfredo. Sleep well. Blimey, Alfredo certainly pushed the boat out this New Year's Eve, didn't he? Let's have another look at some of the new vocabulary we heard in that conversation. Well, we know the word awful. Awful is a synonym for horrible and terrible. What about the verb to continue? Well, to continue is to start again or to not stop. What about ish? Do you remember ish? That's right. We add ish to the end of a word to mean approximately. What about Dave's question? How far from? How far from is a question asking about the distance from one place to another. How far is Balaton-Őrsöd from Budapest? It's about 130 kilometers. Good. Now, what about a headache and a stomachache? Well, a headache is when your head hurts. And a stomachache is when your stomach hurts. A sore throat is when your throat is painful, when your throat hurts. Alfredo has got a hangover. He's hung over. A hangover is when you feel terrible after you drink too much alcohol. Alfredo has also got a cold. When you've got a cold, you've got an infection, which normally means that your nose is blocked, you sneeze, achoo, and you have a sore throat. What about the phrase soaking wet? That means that something is full of water, not just a little damp, not wet, no. This is really, really wet. This is as wet as a blue whale's socks. Very wet. Okay. Mabel, if you're not hungover and unable, can you show us the information, please, in a table? Aha! I remember it well. Alfredo and his hangover. Poor Alfredo. He certainly pushed the boat out that night, didn't he? Yes, it's bad enough to have a cold or a hangover, but Alfredo managed to combine the two, and that made everything much worse. Now, way back in the past, when we learned about Alfredo's hangover, we also met, for the very first time, someone who's become a regular visitor. We met Enid Fotherington Smythe, and she provided us with some information about British pubs. What ho, people! Hello, hello, it's me. I'm Enid, the eccentric, elegant, eclectic, electric eel. I'm here to help you all with some examples of everyday English. Now, today we're going to look at pubs. Are you paying attention? Alfredo? Good. Now, when you go into a pub in the UK, do you know how to ask for a drink? You do? Good. Normally, people ask for a drink in two ways in the pub in the UK. People say, "Can I have a?" Or they say, "I'd like, please." These two phrases are very useful and they're both very polite. Good. Now, if you'd like to order a beer in a UK pub, you also need to know what size of drink you'd like. Beer in the UK is sold in pints and half pints. A pint is approximately the same as half a litre, and a half pint is approximately the same as a quarter of a litre. So, a pint is like a Hungarian korsó, and a half pint is like a Hungarian pohár. Good. Now, there is another sort of beer drink that people sometimes drink. Shandy. Shandy is beer mixed with a soft drink, normally lemonade. Okay, one more bit of information and then I'm off. When you go to a pub in Britain, there is no table service. In British pubs, there is counter service. This means that if you sit by a table and wait, you won't get a drink. They have counter service. This means that you have to go to the counter and wait to be served. You stand at the counter and the person working behind the counter will ask what you would like. Normally they ask, "What would you like?" But they could ask in different ways. Yes. What'll it be? What can I get you? It should be obvious what they're asking. After you tell them what you would like, they bring your drink and you pay them. You pay the person at the bar immediately. In British pubs, tips aren't normally included. If you want to, you can tip the person behind the bar. You can give them some extra money, a tip, to say thank you. In Britain, people don't pay at the end of the evening for all their drinks. Every time you order a drink, you have to pay for it. There and then. Okay, well, I hope my examples of everyday English was helpful. I'm off back home now. Toodaloo, pip pip, cheery bye. Great, and now, just like Enid, it's time for us to leave. Okay, people, have fun for the rest of the day. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll meet again tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you later. Bye.